Oh, wow. I would have to say the intensity and the focus is the same. I mean, you're going into the Olympic Games, no matter the situation, that is a huge deal. And you work years and years to get to this point. So that's been same. But in terms of the environment, the amount of support, the access, sponsorship, just a lot more energy, a lot more of a team atmosphere. And then also, instead of training away from home because we were unable to because of COVID restrictions, I'm able to train here in LA outside with my whole team and just feel like very comfortable. In Tokyo, it was definitely a bittersweet experience. I think a lot of the athletes were under the same sentiment where we were so proud and so excited to be a part of it, but also it was a very grueling and exhausting journey to get there. And then while we were there, we weren't really able to build community or support each other in a way that I think we all wanted to. Even just talking to each other at lunch was difficult. We're all in plastic cubicles. You're getting tested every day. You're just really trying to stay healthy. You just want to be able to show up to your competition at your best, but really you're so limited. So it was tough. And then obviously going into this Paris Olympic Games, it's going to be more of the games that we've all pictured when you're thinking and when you're going for this, just imagining going to the opening ceremonies, which is something that Melissa and I are planning to attend. And so that will be our first time walking the Olympic ceremonies. And it's going to be great. I think it'll be a full circle moment where you think of all of the, like just from when you began, like not really knowing if it will work out and having amazing sponsors, even like Petro-Canada that identified me really early to potentially be an Olympian, and then now being at the parade and getting to start that in a few weeks is going to be pretty surreal. Yeah, it's a lot going on. If it's similar to past multi-sport games that I've been to, which I'm assuming it will be, they do an excellent job. Like right when you enter the airport, there are people usually cheering. There are people, they're excited. Like right when you got your luggage and you got your Team Canada luggage, we're going to be with our whole coaching staff. We're all flying in together. So getting in, and then they'll probably bus us over to the village where there's lots of formalities and all of those things. But really, you're just excited to be there. You're excited to see other athletes. You're excited to see other Canadians. And I know the first thing I'm going to do is definitely like, drop my stuff and like get my bearings. I just want to walk around. I just want to get a feel for the environment, the energy. I mean, this is what we're here for. Get the full experience. Yes, the court at the foot of the Eiffel Tower, I think it's going to be the grandest venue you can ask for any sport, and definitely for beach volleyball. Typically, we are used to having 2.5 practices like in the venue. Even when we play on international, we don't really get training on the stadium court. So we are used to having to just go to the game and have 10 minutes and then get kind of the wind feel, the stadium feel, and things do change and you have to deal with that. So really what we train is our adaptability, and that will come in handy in Paris too, because there are limited access to the stadium court. You are guaranteed one training opportunity. So we will get on the sand before we play, but we are arriving there a week before just to get it acclimatized to the time change, to the weather, to just kind of be ready for the sand even. I mean, we've already played in the sand that they had proposed that they're shipping in. So luckily, we may have already a little bit of familiarity there, but it will be a level of adjusting and making the right calls. But that's the beauty of the sport. I mean, even if we did train 7 days, our first game could be a totally different condition. So who knows? I wish I knew the details always, but I have met people who were part of building the courts, and they would tell me like, oh, there's sand that comes from Canada a lot of the times. Most recently, the sand that we really loved in a tournament in Europe, it came in the Czech Republic as well. And I think they had said that it may be the sand that they're going to use. Obviously, if we play on natural beaches, it is what it is. That's that sand today. And there's things like deep sand, shallow sand. So when you feel like you're sinking into the sand extra and you cannot get a jump, or the sand's super hard and you're jumping off pretty easily, but it's really hard to dive in. So we've kind of played on all sorts of sand like this. I think the sand at the Olympic Games will be kind of the one that they typically use for the World Tour. So it'll be somewhere in the middle between those two things. Sometimes there's really powdery sand that like sticks to your body and your sweat very easily. And sometimes very grainy, like huge pieces. So it's I always make fun of beach players because it's like you get in touch with the sand and the wind and the sun, like you get all the elements, you kind of get a good feel, like another sense for what's going on so that you can use it to your advantage when you're playing. Hydration is a huge part of it, and that comes from weeks and weeks of resting and hydration before you get to a really hot weather place. We've played all over the world, so we are used to playing super high temperatures and super low temperatures. Our night games, which we're assuming are going to be as hot, although in Tokyo they were just as hot. They were so humid day or night. And so we have ice packs, ice vests that were custom made to fit us so we can still move if we wanted to warm up in our ice vests. And then hydration, making sure, and I have an excellent brand partners that have helped me all year with all sorts of electrolytes and replenishing, and rest. We do things like sauna during our training week just to get used to high weather. For me, I just love the hot weather, so I actually thrive in those circumstances. I will have to prepare for cold weather, which is layering up and just making sure I'm fully activated before the game goes. It's kind of like anyone that walks into the beach and the sand is super hot and you're like, oh my God, I cannot walk on this. We have not played in too many events like that. They do a good job if they have to literally watering down the sand, and that helps a lot regulate the temperature. We have little tricks like kind of dig your feet in under that first layer of sand because it's so hot. I have had like blood blisters on my feet and being super hot. But for the most part, I think the weather will be temperate. It really gets to extreme weathers if it gets to the sand in those conditions. So I'm hoping for the best, but I think we'll be prepared for anything. I mean, we are expecting to win. We're expecting to podium. We want to bring a gold medal back for Canada. We want to create legacy and history for Canada in this sport. We have been world class for so long, but outside of the results, our biggest thing has just been able to fully experience the journey that it took to get to this point, and also every single moment, whether it's playing under the Eiffel Tower, whether it's spending time with our family and friends, which has been so important to us. You mentioned the previous Olympics. That's something that got taken away from us, which was really hard to deal with. And for me, my family is kind of my guiding light as to what gets me going every day to make them proud, to be a role model for my younger siblings, which I'm so happy are going to be there watching. And again, Petro-Canada is taking care of the tickets, which is so cool and so amazing. Huge stress reliever because I know they're hot ticket items. And just being able to really live in that energy and enjoy and be proud of ourselves. So that's going to be our biggest takeaway. And no matter the result, I know we're going to have an amazing time.